Hi, I'm Christy. Today I want to look at how other caregivers can offer you encouragement and support. So we've looked at local options, we've looked at online options, but what if you still haven't found your sweet spot for finding the connections that you're looking for? Well, I have another suggestion. Look to other parents and caregivers of somebody with special needs. Now, in some ways, this isn't really a new option. A lot of times, the local support groups or the online groups that you'll find are really filled with parents and caregivers of somebody with special needs. That's because they're looking to give and receive the encouragement and support that they need and that others need to continue on their own journeys. That's the beauty of connecting with other parents and caregivers. You've each got your own specific situations, but a lot of the aspects are very similar. Now, some of these similarities are what draw us together, and often they're different than somebody who doesn't live with special needs. Now, I have to admit, some issues are the same with or without special needs. After all, kids are kids, and people are people. Now, sometimes the issue is simply that you're living with other humans, and so you've got issues that arise. But those issues and problems that arise, sometimes because people are interacting with each other, but sometimes it's because you've added special needs into the mix. And once again, that just changes things. For example, you can have a conversation with a typical teen about how they need to change their attitude. And it goes one way. They look at you, they listen, they hear what you're saying, they understand what you're saying, and you might get attitude back, but you know that your point has been made, they understand what you expect, and they know what they need to do to change it. But when your loved one has special needs, that same conversation can go so many different ways. Maybe they totally misunderstand you. Or, in my case, more likely, they don't understand what you're saying at all. But I have to figure out, how do I pass this lesson along? This isn't a lesson that I need him to learn. So how do I do that? Well, that conversation that works with my typical teen may not work the same with my son with special needs. So now what do I do? How do I get through to them? This is the beauty of talking to other parents and caregivers of somebody with special needs. You see, when you live with special needs, you develop a unique perspective. You develop a set of skills that is broader and deeper than most parents of typical kids develop. Now, when you parent a typical child, you develop a set of skills that help you parent well. You learn what works and what doesn't work with your child. And then you have another child. And you quickly discover that some of those skills work, but some of them don't. And so you develop new skills. And you figure out what works with one kid and what works better with another kid. And pretty soon you're interchanging things because the kids learn this is how mom deals with things, or this is how dad responds to things, and this is what's expected in this family. And it all works great. When somebody has special needs, though, you develop those same skills because you still have to teach them the lessons and you still learn what works and what doesn't. However, you also discover that what worked yesterday with my kid with special needs isn't working today. So very quickly I have to improvise and figure out what's going to work today. How am I going to get through to him today to learn the lesson that he needs to learn? And then tomorrow comes along. And what worked yesterday and what worked the day before, none of that's working today. So now I've got to improvise again and figure out what's going on. And the days go on. And pretty soon you've got a really broad set of skills that you have. And then you have a second child. Maybe they have special needs, maybe they don't. But you quickly discover that you can handle just about anything that comes along because your skill set is now so broad and sometimes so deep that nothing surprises you and you can handle anything that comes your way. Now, this is a benefit of connecting with other parents and caregivers of somebody with special needs. You've developed your set of skills and tools. They've developed theirs. You run into a problem, they can give you ideas. Just like other parents do, but again, with everybody's skill set being broader and deeper, you can get more ideas more quickly. And it's so much easier to share and to learn things quickly by talking to other people. Many times, these are skills and tricks that parents of typical kids never have to use. Now, I should also say that it's not just parents and caregivers that I would categorize in this area. There are other people like siblings, extended family members, teachers, therapists, other caregivers like nannies or daycare workers, foster parents, adoptive parents. Again, the list can go on. But all of these people will develop the same set of skills if they live with special needs in their lives because they're living that life. They deal with the same issues. So I wouldn't rule them out just because they're not officially a parent or a caregiver or something specifically in that category. Here's one example. Sean is AJ's little brother. Now, because he's the younger brother, he doesn't know life without special needs in it. And he's learned to deal really well with his brother over the years. Now, admittedly, some of that's his personality. He's very compassionate and very insightful. But he's also learned what works with his brother and what doesn't. Especially in the past couple years, he's learned that if he words things a certain way, AJ gets really mad. Sean, you not boss me. You're not an adult. That's adult's job. But if he says things in just a little bit different way, AJ will go, oh, okay, yeah, we can do that, or I'll do that, and he'll take it as well as if his dad or I told him. So obviously, Sean's smart enough to know I'm going with that second chance most of the time. Now, yes, they are still brothers, and there are still times that they will personally try and push each other's buttons. But for the most part, Sean is really good about knowing how not to set AJ off. Now, I have one final option for you. Haven of Hope for me. Yes, this site and these videos. See, the goal when I started Haven of Hope is that I wanted to develop an interactive community where we can give encouragement and support for each other's journeys, both giving it and receiving it, because it's such a vital and valid part of getting along in life and getting through life. So my question for you this week is this. What ideas do you have of what support should look like? Would you be interested in helping me develop that kind of a community here at Haven of Hope for me? You can leave me a comment below. You can leave a comment over on the blog. That's at havenofhopeforme.com. That's originally posted in March of 2019. Or your third option would be to shoot me an email at Christy, C-H-R-I-S-T-Y, at havenofhopeforme.com. I'd love to start talking about how we can develop this kind of a community, and I'd love to encourage you along your journey. I'd also appreciate it if you would share this with anybody you think would find it beneficial. I'd love to help as many families as I can. Over on the website, you can sign up for my email list. This will give you all notifications of new content as it's released. On the right side of the website, there's also a place for you to sign up for my new course that will be coming out later this year. That will sign you up for course updates as they're available, as well as new content as it's released. I'm looking forward to developing a broader network of support so that we can all say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.